mean.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Reds Report, Barnsley FC's longest-running podcast, proud to be part of the Talk Sport Fans Network. And before we start this evening, a couple of weeks ago on the show, we had Callum Simpson after that fantastic fight in front of a fully sold-out East Stand. Callum Simpson in the news again, this time the horrible news that his 19-year-old sister tragically died in a car accident in Zante. So, as we were behind him before he went into the ring, I am pretty sure that all Barnsley fans send their condolences and their strength to Callum and the family, of course. On the pitch, though, transfer window is over, which has to be good, because for Barnsley fans, it's always, did the fax machine work? All that. Did he turn up for his medical? Were the photos taken in look back, or did they drive off? So there's always loads to keep in mind for Barnsley. And so let's have a look first then, Ian, at the additions to the squad. On transfer deadline day, two, you could say, strikers or attack-minded players came in. It's fair to say that the Mansfield lad, Davis Keller-Dunn, was one that was always in the pipeline, and then it wasn't, and then it might have been, and then it wasn't. Was that the main target, do you think, for the club?
I think so. The sporting director came out, didn't he, and said that they've been tracking him all summer. I think he was the number one target. What I would say is, I think generally we obviously had to invest in every department in that squad, didn't we? Because of who'd left. So goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, up front. We need, and I think, yes, we left it late with the forwards, but I think overall, I think they've done a good job. I'm really, really pleased with Slanina, the keeper, that's coming from Chelsea. I know Mark Roberts isn't as quick as he used to be, but I think that's a good appointment, vice-captain. I like that George Gent. I know he's not played a load of football, but I like him. Hurricane coming back. I think Matthew Craig, centre midfield, and that Humphreys comes with a really good record in League One. But Keeler-Dunn, for me, is the marquee signing, and we paid a few bob for him. I've put in a derisory offer, apparently, which would probably, I dread to think what it was, and probably peed Mansfield off massively, but they got it over the line in the end.
And it was like he signed till 2027. Now, his role, when you look on various footballing websites, Steve, he's down as an attacking midfielder. Do you think to fit him in, they will look at maybe changing formation, or do you think he'll just play as a striker? Because obviously we saw him at the opening match of the season against Mansfield. Do you think where does he fit, or are we going to make him fit, I suppose, is the question.
If he's as good as we seem to think he is, I'm sure that we'll be building around him, to be honest. At the minute, you can't knock Phillips. I've tried, and I tried all last season, but I can't knock the lad. He's really stepping up this first few games, and he's looking like the player that we originally signed. And I think he realises he's going to be fighting for his place, and you'd think Dunn would be his sort of replacement, but I can see them both playing in that side, quite honestly. Whether he changes from a front two to just one and then two behind him, maybe we don't play with a back five. Maybe we play with a four, and he fits him in that way. It'd be interesting to see how he does manage to fit him in. I think this week will be interesting because we've got a couple of injuries as well to us normal forwards, so we'll be able to see maybe where he does put him.
Ian, if you look at the squad, if we look at midfield first, Connell, Craig, Nwakali, John Russell, you've got Adam Phillips, Josh Benson, Conor Horahan, Matty Wolf, and then potentially, obviously, Kayla Dunn as well. For a midfield, like a few seasons ago, we were saying that midfield should rule that division because there's a bit of choice there, isn't there, for whatever formation he wants to play. And the thing is as well, in that list, beside Horahan, who's 33, I think 26 is the oldest one. So we got it right on both levels, I suppose. We've got a choice and a good strength in depth, but they're also players that hopefully will be here for 2-3 years, depending on the contract, of course, that can grow with the club.
Yes, you're right to say he might change the formation. We could go 3-4-3. But he what's worked really well, I think, is having two defensive midfielders. I think that's allowed Phillips to concentrate on just going forward. And they've really helped, I think, the back three, back five, whatever it becomes, when we've not got the ball. So I wouldn't want to steer too far away from that, because I think Connell and Craig, or whether it's been Connell and Russell, have done a really good job in that sort of protect the back line, snapping away all the time, and then giving it to people like Phillips and to try and counter. So, and the energy in there. So I like the shape at the minute. I like the balance of the side. But like I say, we'd like to see more from Benson. I know Matty Wolf might be a bit off yet with his injury, but we've got options. Russell's been called up for the Jamaica side, so we won't see him. But you're right, the strength in depth in there, because you don't want to flog Connell and then him get an injury or something. So I do like the choices, the options that we've got. And like you say, rather than buying lads under 25, they've realised actually experience is key. Hence, they've got Robertson Hurricane in.
Yeah. And up front, Steve, when he's fit, Jallow, Humphreys, Cosgrove, Watters, Marsh. Again, it's depending on the formation, but there is you could argue, I suppose, that Aidan Marsh might not be a regular starter, but his work rate is undeniable. And sometimes he makes things happen, I suppose, for other players. But again, strength in depth is what we've been shouting for. And it's good to give the gaffer a bit of a headache, isn't it, who he selects, because there's quite a few to choose from there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I know nothing about Stephen Humphreys. I saw his pictures, obviously, on Twitter, and I did comment. I shan't say it now because it's even a bit strong for me. But he looks a proper, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sort of player that we want up front. Yeah. The way that we've started, I think Watters is perhaps getting to be the player that we want him to be. He's looked lively. He's got a couple of goals, and he's looking a lot better. I still have a question mark over Cosgrove. For a big lad, he just doesn't seem to hold ball up, which is what I want him to do, but he doesn't seem to be able to do that. Marsh, like you say, off bench, although last match he had a really good game. So I suppose it's one of them, whoever you're playing, does he fit in to play against them? Jallow, who knows what he's going to be like when he comes back. He's only going to have been out a few weeks, but I would have thought he's going to have to get back up to match fitness. So he has got a headache as to who to pick. Throw Dunn into that as well, into that mix. Is he going to play 3 up front? Is he going to play 2 up front? Is he only going to play 1 up front? If Stephen Humphreys is the sort of player who can hold the ball up and bring other players in, well, you could just play with 1 up front. He's your focal point, and then your 2 attacking midfielders play off him. Could be interesting. Be interesting to see, as I say, what he picks tomorrow.
And obviously, before tomorrow, if you look at what we've done so far.
Well, Saturday. It's only Thursday today, isn't it? Sorry.
You get
I've been off, Anna. Let's face it.
If we look back at the Barnsley Northampton, a 2-2 draw, obviously our home record not being great. This was on the back of the Man United under 21s where we were 2-0 up, and well, I don't know how we lost, but we lost in 6 or 7 minutes.
I can tell you how we lost, but it'll be a X-rated, a lot of bleeping going off.
Here's one for the OnlyFans. And then after Northampton, Sheffield United in the cup, and a decent. I know they had some youngsters playing, but there were also some seasoned professionals in that side, and I thought it was a really professional performance, frustrating them, but still making it count. And then we go away to Crawley, and away days have never always seemed to be easier for us for whatever reason, and another tidy 3-0 away win. So on the pitch, I suppose, Ian, without these reinforcements that we've brought in up front, steadying the ship a bit, isn't it? And actually maybe surprising some of the fans that we're competing, aren't we? We're doing reasonably well.
Yeah, I mean, it's 7 points in the last 9 in the league. They've negotiated a couple of tricky Carabao Cup games. I think Clark gave him the rocket, didn't he, after Northampton? He clearly wasn't happy. How you manage games, how you see games out when you're 2-0 up. I think he'd seen enough in those 2 games you've mentioned where they blew 2-goal leads. And then you saw the change against Sheffield United and the work rate and just all-round performance. To a man, even the subs, they were really, really good performances. And it was pleasing that they were playing for the shirts. And then they've gone away to Crawley, which is a bit of a banana skin. And they've gone and done a really professional job. So the only thing I would like to see now ticked off, I know it's early days, is to sort this home form out. Because, like I say, away from it, we've won at Lincoln, we've won at Crawley, we've won at Wigan in the Carabao Cup, albeit on penalties. I'm not saying that box is completely ticked, but it's this home form now. They need to kick on with that starting Saturday, I think.
Yeah, so you've got a draw, the Northampton draw at home, and then obviously the Sheffield United win. So hopefully, that is sort of turning. And are we surprised? And I know it's early days, lads, but are we surprised that the 3 unbeaten sides at the moment? One's Birmingham, and the other two are the promoted sides, Stockport and Wrexham. Now I know everybody talks about Wrexham and the investment and everything else, but I mean Stockport are clearly well equipped in this division. I know it's early days, Steve, but surprising or actually not?
Yeah, I suppose it is surprising. You don't expect a team to come straight up and then go to top of the next league. Wrexham's Wrexham, isn't it? It is what it is. But with Stockport, no, it's good to see a team like that up near top. Whether they can maintain it while next year is yet to be seen. But look at Plymouth. Plymouth were up at top, and then Plymouth got promoted. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. But I think Birmingham's going to be up there, aren't they? They've spent millions and millions and millions, and they'll have to be up there. Otherwise, FFP they'll have another 5-year court case like Man City, and who knows what'll happen with that if they don't go up. But your Wrexham, yeah, you'd expect your Wrexham to be right there or thereabouts. But no, Stockport, it's nice to see a team like that, like Stockport. It's nice over there. Some nice pubs over there.
We'll need to try them.
Robinson's Brewery, it is down there.
Yeah, it is, mate. Well done, mate. Yeah, it is.
Ian knows.
Ian knows. He's been pissed many times down there.
Ian, you've before joining us just for this recording this evening, you did an interview with BBC Radio Bristol. Did they talk about? Was it more about Barnsley, or how did they see the match going? How have Bristol started the season? Because level on points, level on outcomes, like we both, draw on, lost, all that is all the same number of points. Our goal tally a little bit better. So is that what they're expecting, or given our current home form, or?
Yeah, they were asking more about Barnsley and under Darrell Clark, because obviously he was Bristol Rovers manager for a number of years, and they played his press conference today where he was asked quite a lot by BBC Radio Sheffield about his time at Rovers. So they were asking about us, and I was bigging us up, and obviously we'll probably get beat 3-0 now after bigging them up. But it was, touched on Luke Thomas, he's still there. But generally, I think they've got quite a young squad. And like I was saying, other than Thomas, you probably wouldn't really know a great deal about them. So I had a look at the league table, and they got pretty much nigh on same sorts of record that we have. I know it's early days, but it's always a tricky game. I mean, I remember we went there last season. I think they played us off the park for 80 minutes. I don't know how we ended up getting a point. they're like the link, the Lincolns of this world. They're tough. It won't be easy, but I think I'd like to think we're on a little bit of a crest of a wave, but been a decent transfer window. We've got the draw in the Carabao Cup, and we talked about squad depth. So I'm hoping we can kick on Saturday. That's what I've kind of told them, really, that we're looking to kick on, and we're quite pleased with how I think you guys share my thoughts. I think Darryl Clark's had a good steady start to his career, and I quite like him. I like how he comes across.
Yeah, comes across really well.
The thing is as well, I'm happy for him because the club seemed to have backed him as well. I'm not saying they didn't back previous managers, but I think they knew what was needed and they stuck at it rather than the derisory offer that wasn't like, oh, we'll go to the next one. We know the saga of the Swedish striker that came over from Holland and then personal, circumstances changed his mind, so he went again. So to get those two in, the clubs mean business, and if Darryl Clark can produce on the pitch, it's just another league match. But I think you spoke about it earlier, Steve. This home form is Ian, is really important, isn't it, Steve? That we do kick on, because September is a busy month. We're already on the 6th or whatever we are. We've got Bristol Rovers at home on Saturday, a week after away at Stevenage. And then in the space of 11 days, we've got Man United away, Burton away, and Stockport at home. So, there's 5 matches between now and the end of this month. If we want to compete like we have done the previous 2 seasons playoffs, that home form needs to turn around a little bit, doesn't it? Because last year was very much subsidised by an excellent away form. So it's going to be one or the other. Steve, can we get a result on Saturday, or is it this voodoo belief? Or
no, of course we can get a result. As home form's been up and down for the last couple of seasons, to be honest. Last season were probably worst for home form. But you see, I think we're seeing things in this team now with Darryl Clark and with the players. I'm picking up, it might just be me, I might have got cold, I don't know, but I'm picking up a different atmosphere. The players seem to be, I want to say, happier. I want to say they seem to be giving more. Phillips is a prime example of this. He's playing way better than he did last season. And you look at players like Barry Cotter.
Oh, what a player!
Last season, let's face it, lad at work, Mark at work. Hi, Mark, if you're listening. I know you're not because you're a miserable git, but it don't matter. He never rated him. But this season, I'm not kidding. He's no Maldini, but bloody hell, he's banging up and down that wing. He's knocking balls in, and he's looking a proper footballer. And there's a couple that seems to be stepping up. As I say, I mentioned Waters earlier on. Hopefully, he can kick on and prove that he's a decent player. So I think there's definitely seems to be a different atmosphere, different motivation for the players. There's obviously 2 or 3 players now pushing for each position, so there's that pressure, and that's got to be a good pressure because it means they've got to step up, and hopefully the players will take this on board and not throw the dummies out like some did last season and say, I'm not playing no more. And I think it's looking good. I think there's room for optimism, to be honest.
Yeah. Is it? You just absolutely hit it on the head, because these are the same players, but we seem to be getting 20, 25, 30% more. If you look at Cotter, if you look at Phillips, is it fair to say that when a head coach comes in, Ian, somebody like a Collins, you can have all the fantastic ideas pitching you as the head coach of Barnsley FC, but it's all about man management skills, isn't it? Because so far, and I know it's early on and things can change, but as we stand now here today on this Thursday evening, Darryl Clark says the things when he's unveiled, but we are seeing it on the pitch. That he's got an influence. There's a black dog next to you. Don't look now, Steve, but there's a poodle next to you.
Where are you looking? I don't know what you're talking about.
And so
it's not a pantomime, this, It is.
Is it fair to say that Ian, and I know it's early, is he in the realms of the Ismails, Stendals that had that man management skill and they got the last squeeze of energy out of every player for 90 minutes when they play. Is fair to say that it's maybe that side that he's better at than our previous head coach?
100%, absolutely. He's even come out in press conferences and almost like not called the board out, but he's been like when he was being saying about being frustrated that some strikers haven't come in that week. Or I genuinely believe him when he said, like on Waters, he said to him, I've told all the players clean slate, and I know managers come in and say, it's a clean slate under me, but under him, you see what Waters has done, and you are getting another 25% out of him. He's working his backside off. Do you mind not kissing on the podcast?
I say we all like a bit of porn now and again, don't we?
That gave me an idea for an OnlyFans episode, but I'll talk about you later.
But absolutely, I feel that, like you say, maybe is it too strong to say a couple of bad eggs have left the dressing room?
I was just going to say exactly the same thing here.
No.
I was just going to say it makes you wonder now if that clear out of 1 or 2, 3 players has changed all dynamic in dressing room, and it's made it probably a better place to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he strikes me, Clark, as the type that would be really honest with you as a player and would give you the chance. He's come out and commented on a number of players, and I think he would be that one that would put the arm around you and believe in you. But then also, he's been great when he's come out and absolutely slated him after winning at Lincoln and said that was nowhere near good enough. So I think players want that honesty, don't they? Whether they didn't quite get it with Collins or what, I don't know. But yeah, absolutely, it feels like a breath of fresh air, like Steve said. It does. We're not getting too carried away. Craig, there's only like 4 league games have been played, but it feels like a breath of fresh air compared to last season and how dour it felt and toxic at times. The whole air of the place and the communication just breathes, just kind of reinvigorates us a little bit. And you can see it on the pitch. Cotter against Sheffield United, he wasn't the only one, but Cotter against Sheffield United was immense. Yeah. You were like, I messaged you guys and said, football genius, this lad.
No, but it's right, isn't it? It's vital that you get somebody with some tactical now, but that can work with players. Somebody that can get the best out of, and somebody that can also, when players are on the bench, still motivated to do a job when they're called on. Because last year it just felt that some of them, because they had number 8 on the back and had a good season at Donny and an half-decent season at Barnsley, they got to start.
Like, that's a bit harsh, Carlo. Where have you got that from? Ooh, that's a bit too much, that, mate. Leave the lad alone.
Well, he has said, Clark has said only in the last couple of days that, the players who've come in, it's now him and his staff's job to get them playing and get the best out of them. And he sees himself as the idea of a coach is to develop these players and grow them. So he's very much invested in them. He's not a do this, do that. He clearly is very invested in trying to turn these players and develop them into better players. And that, if you're coming into work every day and your line manager's telling you that and wants to develop you, then, you're going to play for him, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. And before I ask you all the last question, I got some private messages over the last couple of weeks because we have not recorded every week, and that's for a variety.
Who's been sliding into your DMs?
for a variety of reasons. Whilst we enjoy just spending, some time together on a Thursday evening, virtually, of course. We all have families, we all have lives with work, and sometimes things happen that means we're not in the right frame of mind, we haven't got time, or there are just other things that take priority over recording a podcast. That's one of the reasons why, we don't really have a sponsor where we say every week we will record, because some weeks we just can't. And also, family will always come first. And if something is wrong, we had some lovely messages from people saying, I just miss it because that's what I look forward to on a Friday on my journey into work. Or somebody said, I get half an hour break. Can you just record half an hour? So you've only got 6 minutes to go and we're bang on. But this is why, and listen, there's lots of podcasts and outlets and media creators there for Barnsley. I don't like the idea of people having to pay for something that you do as a hobby, and you know what I mean? So we are here this week. We're hoping to be back next week and talk about a fantastic win against Bristol.
But can I Can I just say though? Sorry, I'm in Barcelona from Sunday, so I might not be able to record next Thursday.
What do
Sorry.
you mean you're in Barcelona? What are you doing in Barcelona? Playing?
I wish. No, we're going to Barcelona for a few days. Sightseeing.
You and your missus going? You and your missus going?
All three of us are going. Yeah.
Oh, all three. Oh, right. Okay, I didn't know if it one of them holidays.
No.
Oh, all right, never mind, mate. Yeah, enjoy. Apparently, it's a wonderful city.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been, but yes, we.
Have you been before?
Long time ago. But I'll raise a glass of red and to you next week.
Sounds good to me, that, mate. Very good.
Boys.
Sorry to drop that bombshell on you.
Yeah, that's all.
It's absolutely fine. I just said sometimes family circumstances or things happen. I never said you go on fucking holiday. You know what I mean? Like...
18. Tick that box that says 18. Carlo swore.
Is the swearing? Yeah.
Carlo swore.
I know it weren't me this time. How good's that?
Boys,
because he's got back to work. He's had 8 weeks off. He's getting stressed.
He can't believe it, can he? You don't know what date it is.
Oh, well, I only had 6 weeks off, not 8. 6. It's 7.5 weeks till my next holiday, but we'll talk about that later. Boys, between you now, we've talked through the squad. We know we've got Bristol Rovers. Between you then, come up with the formation and what you think is our strongest 11 for Saturday, please. In goal should be easy. I mean, Slovenia, he's not done much wrong, has he? And he's a bit of a presence as well, isn't it? Like I think he influences players like Pines, De Gevigné, and settles things down. So if you put him in goal, what formation and who is starting where? Argue amongst yourself.
Well, he chops and changes a bit, doesn't he? Like 1 week, he's got Ghent in. Then it's like he'll put Earl out on the left, and to fit Roberts and Pines together. I like Roberts and Pines together. Then O'Keefe had a good game at Crawley.
Yeah.
So
back line. Are we going with 3?
I think Pines is
too wide.
I think.
You can help out, Steve, if you want.
I'll be controversial, and I think you'll go 3-4-3.
Who would you put at the back then, Steve? Or do you not?
De Gevigné, Pines, no. Cotter on your right. Ghent on your left.
Yeah.
Connell
and Matty Craig.
And then he'll play Phillips, Keeler Dunn, and he's not mentioned if Cosgrove is fit, is he? So whether he put Cosgrove up there as the centre, so it'd be like a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1.
What about Watters?
He's injured. He's got a knock, hasn't he?
I thought Cosgrove had got a knock.
Well, he's been a bit quiet about Cosgrove. I know Watters has got a knock, but he says it's positive. So one of them might squeeze it. So it might have a focal point of one. I'm saying all this, and he'll probably go back to 3-5-2, and you might as well just delete this bit of the podcast. But I think because it possibly caused question marks over Cosgrove and Watters, he might just play one up top with supported by Keeler Dunn and Phillips. But who am I?
It depends who's fit. It depends who's fit.
Yeah.
If one of Watters or Cosgrove is fit, probably one of them. If he feels like throwing Humphreys up front,
he's not really go season. That's the only problem.
That's the only thing with him. However, he could throw Keeler Dunn up front and play Phillips and Marsh behind him.
That's the beauty of that signing with Keeler Dunn. He can play in 3 different positions. He can play anywhere. So he can play in like 3 different positions. So that is absolutely golden, that to have a player like that.
I'd play Killip up front myself. Of course, he's keen useless at back.
I know, yeah.
And I need to know the final result and the first Barnsley goal scorer. I'll go
3-1 Devante Cole.
I will go 3-1, and I think Phillips will nudge another one because I think he's hitting that little bit of form now. Confidence is up. Plus, he takes penalties, which is always handy. So I'll go 3-1, Adam Phillips, because we love him.
I won't copy you with the scoreline. I'll go 2-1 then.
Yeah.
Phillips. Fancy 3-1, but I think I'll go 2-1.
Steady 2-0. Good afternoon. Donovan Pines, back post, boost straight in back top corner. He's the man. He's the man.
You've heard it here first. You have been listening to the Reds Report. We will be back hopefully next week, although we know Ian won't be there.
You will be live from the Basilica. That's where you want to be, mate. Get up on top of the cathedral.
Got it booked.
Beautiful.
You should know.
Ready to go that trip.
Hey, it's funny actually that you should say that, because I've just read. Yes, I can read before anybody else decides they want to comment on my Twitter.
Has it got lots of pictures though?
I've just read that Dan Brown origin.
All right.
That's set in Spain and lots of different bits about Spain. Very good. If anybody wants, other books are available, obviously. That were a quid from charity shop. Look at that. Quid, look, says quid, charity shop.
Oh, what charity shop was it, Steve? So we'll give him a mention.
Oh, no, it were up Scotland way, mate. I can't see anybody going up there. If anybody wants it, £2.
He comes on the Barnsley podcast with his Arsenal shirt. Then he's advertising charity shop in Scotland. Whatever will happen.
I've had some good stuff from that charity shop, I'll tell you.
We'll make a list and you can tell us all about it next week when hopefully I'll be back. Steve will likely be back as well. We will miss Ian, but we'll see if maybe we're going to lay somebody on loan just for the 1 week. Nobody will have to replace that, Ian. No, will they? So, no. Ian, enjoy yourself in Barcelona. Steve, see you soon. Are you
in Barnsley?
Are you there Saturday? You two?
Well, I did have tickets, and then when I realised they decided to shut the M62 all weekend, and it'll just be a nightmare trying to get over. I've got a refund on my tickets. I'm sorry, but it took me probably like 3 days to get there over the tops.
We've got bike racing in town today, so I'm wondering if I can get a refund on my tickets.
It took me 50 minutes to drive from Mumwell to Town End roundabout today because of the bike race. That was over by then. Roads were open, but it was so congested. It was incredible. But by all means, from what I've heard from people, it was a fantastic event for the town. I just wish they did these things on a weekend where more people could go and watch and there's less hassle trying to get home. Bobby Hassel, evening.
And his wife.
Less ex-wife.
Sorry, ex-wife.
Let's hope Barnsley get the result. Let's hope Barnsley get the result against Bristol Rovers on Saturday. Ian is in Barcelona next week. We will be talking Barnsley next week. Hope you'll join us then. From everyone, Ian, Steve, and myself, thanks for listening. Moo Reds.
Don't forget extra large.